But first, we turn to our top story breaking just this morning, as a Fayette County man has been sentenced to 2 consecutive life sentences in jail. WOAY had the only camera in the courtroom as we go into those exclusive pictures. Carl Cox was convicted by a Fayette County jury of shooting his daughter Rhonda and son-in-law to death while they were in bed during the early morning hours of January 27, 2022. And today, Judge Blake gave him the maximum penalty permissible by law. Michael Leaf was in the courtroom today and has all the details.
It was a dramatic day in court as Judge Paul Blake sentenced Carl Cox to 2 life sentences in jail for the murder of his daughter Rhonda and her husband, James Neal. Cox initially declined the opportunity to address the court, but eventually interjected as Judge Paul Blake read his decision. Cox made threats directly towards multiple people then and again as he was led out of the courtroom, threatening the prosecuting attorney and the sheriff. In his words, he claimed there will be a party in Fayetteville if his case is overturned. Prosecuting attorney Anthony Ciliberti told Newswatch that Cox's threats didn't make him afraid to prosecute the case.
Mr. Cox has threatened to kill me. I'm not going to go away simply because the defendant is going to act that way. We have a job to do. This isn't personal. Mr. Cox seems to think it's personal, but it's not.
Carl's son, Clifford Cox, made a statement to Newswatch directly after the hearing, saying he wanted to set the record straight.
I've been around him for 32 years of my life. If I thought he would have killed my sister out of cold blood, I wouldn't be here batting for him. I think it was lack of evidence, poor police work, and basically just personal vendetta from Fayette County.
The argument that there was a lack of evidence didn't fly with the jury, which returned its verdict of guilty of first-degree murder on both counts in under an hour. The argument didn't fly with Judge Blake, who said he was surprised that the jury recommended mercy. It didn't fly with Ciliberti, who said multiple agencies helped with the investigation.
It's been quite the effort that's been put forth, not only from my office, but from the members of the Fayette County Sheriff's Department that were involved in the investigation, and also the members of the West Virginia State Police Forensic Lab that were involved in helping us analyze the evidence in this case.
There were multiple key pieces of evidence in the case, including testimony, the state of the crime scene itself, and perhaps most importantly, a home surveillance system that documented Carl's movements throughout the house on the night of the murder and showed his alibi didn't add up.
You can tell the video that was videoed just before the shooting, and you can also tell which video was shot just after the shooting. And you've got about a 2.5-minute window, and what the defendant said happened, it could not have happened in that short of a time frame, and it's just not believable that it would have happened the way that the defendant described.
As for a motive, Ciliberti argued in court that he believes that Carl feared that either his daughter or his son-in-law would reveal what is alleged to be an incestuous relationship between Carl and Rhonda that lasted much of her life. Carl's son Clifford told Newswatch he doesn't believe it.
There was no evidence of an incest relationship over thousands of messages between her and her husband.
The state brought multiple witnesses who testified about the alleged relationship. Cox now has the chance to appeal the verdict, something he and his son said they would do.
We're going to appeal it, just see what happens.
Ciliberti said he didn't think that Cox's outburst played a major role in the judge's sentence. Rather, he said it came down to Cox's attitude towards the murder.
I think the bigger issues for the court, I believe, are the fact that we have somebody that murdered 2 people and then took the stand during his trial and presented testimony that objectively, I believe, was completely false.
Reporting in Fayetteville for Newswatch, I'm Michael Leaf.
Cox's 2 life sentences were given back-to-back. Because the jury gave a verdict with a recommendation of mercy, he is eligible for parole after 30 years. Now keep in mind, Cox is 64 years old. We will keep you updated should he appeal the verdict.